Kia ora everybody. Let's have a look at how you go about designing a plan. I'm just going to give you one example of how to design a plan here, and we'll do another example in the next module coming up as well about that. But for now, let's have a think about our farmer and the 120 metre fence problem that there is. And this is where the farmer has 120 metres of electric fence, portable electric fence, he can move around, and wants to make the biggest paddock possible out of this fence. And so you've already seen the problem, and we've already spent time understanding the problem, and this is how a plan might emerge out of that. Well, first of all, part of the understanding of the problem was the realization that even though the fence is always 120 metres around the outside, that's the perimeter say, the size of the paddock can actually change if we measure it in square metres. So that's kind of what's going to feed into our plan. So my plan is going to be this. Number one, I'm going to start experimenting with different shapes. I'm going to just start with rectangles to keep it really simple, and I'm going to compare the differences between them. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a long, thin rectangle with a perimeter of 120 metres, and then I'm going to slowly increase that, make it fatter and fatter until I can see a pattern. I want to be able to see a pattern between those things. So experiment with shapes, only use rectangles for now. I'm going to start long and thin and slowly progress these and see if I can identify a pattern between them and do something with that pattern. If that works, great. If it doesn't work, I'll feed all of this new understanding back into phase one. So let's look at how this might work if we were to do this. Well, the first paddock that I would draw on a bit of paper, I'm just going to use meters because it's easier. So I'm going to go the longest, thinnest paddock I can. So 1 meter at each side. So 120 minus 2 is 118. So the sides are going to have to be half of 118. That's 59. So now I've got a paddock 1 meter wide and 59 meters long. And if I work out the square area, I go, what? 1 times 59 equals 59 square meters. First part of the plan done. Now I'm going to increase that. This time I'm going to make the sides 2 meters. So that means if I make the sides 2 meters, I've got 116 meters to divide by 2. That's 58 meters on each side. So 2 meters by 58 meters. Doesn't look that much difference. 2 times 58, heck, it's 116 square meters. Wow. So just looking at the two of those paddocks, just by increasing the side by 2, by an extra 1, you know, I've increased the square meterage of that paddock dramatically, almost double. Okay, so now instead of going 3, 4 on the sides, I might just jump up to 10. I'm just going to make the sides 10 meters. And that would leave 50 on each side. So we've got a paddock by 10 meters by 50 meters, a perimeter of 120. 10 times 50 is 500 square meters. So that's a 500 square meter paddock. Wow, so they do get bigger. It seems like the more we kind of squash them out. So what if I was to make a square? Well, that would be 30 meters by 30 meters by 30, 30, 30, 30, 120. So 30 times 30 for the square area is 900 square meters. Wowza. So we've worked out the plan is working in this case. I started long and thin and I'm moving into fatter. And now I've gone from a paddock that was, what was the first one? 59 square meters all the way to 900 square meters using the same perimeter. That's awesome. So that's how a plan works. So rather than just jumping in and doing it, I'm just going through like a systematic way, thinking about the systematic way of doing it. In this case, it's kind of worked. At least it's told me that a square paddock is the best, and maybe there's more after that for you maths people out there. But for now, that's pretty good. I've understood it, and now I would move into the next phase, which is look back, check, check, check.